I don't think it's set in yet. We're going to talk about the corrections from last video, why I'm sitting in a van, what's going on here in Albuquerque about the Operation Legend, some of the other stuff going on, and just update you on the basic overall things that are going on here. And I've done a bit more research, so let's hope this one's a little clearer and a little easier to understand. So I think we'll start out with the things that were wrong, called out wrong in the first video. All right, so let's start. So the City on the Edge podcast, in the comments below the last video, took kind of offense that I used the word patriot to describe the right. I used that because on Twitter, in this area, that is kind of what everybody refers to as the right, the patriots. So I went with that. I apologize. From now on, I will say the right or the left. All right? So that being done, his also was the second thing he wanted to talk about, was that on May 31st, the protest had ended a couple hours before 10 to 20 people decided to start a riot on their own accord. I didn't look it up. I don't know. All I knew was in the first night, or in that night, there was rioting and looting and destruction of downtown on the same night. So if you have any questions about that, do me a favor, look it up. I didn't have time. That being covered, let's get into what is going on with the overall of what's going on here in Albuquerque. I've done some research using local television stations, links to people's Twitter's accounts, and I'm going to show them to you right here as we talk about them. You can pause it and look at them if you want, okay? But I do have those receipts. All right, so first thing we want to talk about is Operation Legend has decided that they would send 35 people, federal agents, from the DOJ and from, let's see, from the DOJ, FBI, and DEA into Albuquerque to help or aid with the violent crimes here in Albuquerque. That is what they're coming in under. We will see how that works, but right now, that's what they're saying. This was all kind of spurred on by Sheriff-elect Gonzalez actually contacting the White House about Operation Legend and letting them know what's going on, coming off a record year of murders and violent crime, and that we were on a path, even with the shutdowns, to match that this year. Okay? In that process, the first words I found, which was right after I posted the last video, was that the FBI had announced a $25,000 reward for information leading up to and the arrest of whoever committed the murder of Jacqueline V. Hill when she was on her way to the gym. Okay? That was posted hours after I posted the last video. Along with that, I found out through several different things, and I apologize, I'm looking at my notes, I'm trying to get this correct, that the DOJ, the Operation Legend, has offered money in this. So the DOJ itself is $1.5 million to hire 5 new officers to aid in this Operation Legend thing going on. There is also a Operation Legend fund to support with supplies, rent, and all the other stuff, another $1.4 million to take care of whatever needs to bring in these 35 officers and the stress it takes on the community or our policing. They have also offered $9.74 million to hire 40 new officers over the next 5 years. So far, this is sounding pretty good. Let's see what else we got here. I've talked to locals, and most locals don't even care about this at this point. They're actually more interested in what's going on with the shutdowns and the virus amongst us and masks. That is a huge thing here in Albuquerque. There's 2 distinct sides, and that's what the public is actually interested in. Me, on the other hand, being former military, coming from a military family, I see significance in this Operation Legend. So let's go into what our government is worried about. And let me preface this by saying again that New Mexico is primarily a Democrat state. So I found an interview on KRQE 13, it's one of our local stations here, that Mayor Keller had done an interview with them. He states clearly in his interview that he does not trust the federal government. He believes this is a ploy to gain votes in a primarily Democratic state, and that this is just a way for Trump to weasel in. And that is me paraphrasing. If you want, go take a look at that. Like I said, you can find it on the KRQE site. But basically, he's saying this is a stunt and not something that the federal government really is trying to do other than to get votes. On KOAT 7, this was kind of echoed by Senator Martin Heinrich. And I'm going to read this verbatim, so I'm going to be looking down. Forgive me, like I said, I'm looking at notes and I'm trying to get this correct. So, in an email from his aide, Martin Heinrich's aide, it was stated, at best, this is a campaign stunt. At worst, this is a direct abuse of federal law enforcement powers, and that he has fears that will violate civilian rights. That is a direct quote. Senator Heinrich also asked in the same interview and on his Twitter account to have Sheriff-elect Gonzalez to resign. He wants him to resign. He said he had no right to call the White House or get in touch with the White House, and that he is asking for him to leave his office because he didn't think that's right. Let me preface what I'm about ready to read with the fact that New Mexico, being a Democrat state close to a border, has declared that we are a sanctuary state. The only other thing I could find about the Operation Legend came off from a tweet from Michelle Lujan-Grisham herself. That being said, she made multiple references to worrying about the civil rights of our community being violated, and that she did not trust the federal government to come in. She did state that she would work with them, but she did not trust them. Okay? And all mentioned the fact that it was civil rights oriented. Okay? That is the facts that I have found, and hopefully you guys can see these. It may be a bit small, but I promise you, I either picked it up from our news or from tweets from the people themselves. Not speculation, okay? I am going to put an opinion piece at the end here, okay? The people here in New Mexico are talking mostly, again, about masks, about small businesses, about our shutdown, about the 300 plus small businesses that were shut down or ended up having to quit because they couldn't make it anymore. There was just not enough money and they'll never open again. That's what the concerns are here in New Mexico. I don't think they understand the significance of what's going on here. The local government keeps using this word of they're upset that the federal government will have to come in and fix a problem. My opinion is I don't care what party you're on. If you have a problem and you haven't been able to fix it yourself, bringing in outside help is good. Okay, and I'm not talking about parties here. I'm just talking about the fix. And truthfully, I think Sheriff Gonzalez did the right thing to bring him in here. And I'm going to leave that at that. I do have conspiracy theories about what's going on. I don't say either party is correct or wrong. I try to take each person at their word. And I'm hoping some of you understand that. But this video was just to keep you informed of what was going on. I hope I can do two things. Keep my opinions to the end, because I tried last time and it was really hard. So I'm going to keep my opinions towards the end and maybe some conspiracy theories. But I'd like to bring you first and foremost the facts as I find them. I promise you I will use news sources from the local area, not necessarily trusted ones, but from the local area, and Facebook and Twitter posts from the people themselves. Okay? It's the best I can do. I can also tell you about what's going on in the local area, as far as I can see it. Do me a favor, I'm going out on a limb to change my format, and I wish you would do me a favor and at least throw a like or subscribe or do something to interact with this video. And again, if I've done something wrong or said something wrong, it's not intentional, please, just like they did in the comments last time, make sure you do me a favor and go ahead and put that down there. I will look it up, and if I find out I'm wrong, I will change it. Okay? Again, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for being in the van. Right now, the house is loud. My office is not an option. And I'm in an open space. So, there you go. Again, thanks very much, and sorry this was a long video. It looks like this format might get a little longer. Till next time. Cheers.